What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my favorite rushing class. This is going to be a very aggressive build for advanced warfare, using mainly a submachine gun and rushing around objective play, all of that stuff, and obviously no stealth involved or suppression or kind of being stealthy right up in the enemy's face and winning gunfights. So hopefully this build is something you'll find useful, but we're going to go off with the ASM-1. I'll show you the build and go through all the attachments and perks and all that stuff, and at the end I'll run through the class in general. I'll show you the full class as it is, but we're going to be using the ASM-1. I'm not really still sure what my favorite submachine gun, but out of the lot this seems to be the best for actual damage. It doesn't have the best range, which is the problem. There are weapons that have a better range than the ASM-1, but this one has the best damage, so this is definitely the better close range weapon as opposed to other submachine guns which are good at longer ranges. But as for rushing and getting up in the enemy's faces, the ASM-1 is definitely my preferred choice. As for attachments, I'm going to be going with firstly stock, which helps massively at close quarters gunfights. It lets you strafe back and forward when you're aiming down sight, which will be doing a lot if you're up in enemy's face and rushing around, and this helps you kind of evade their shots and move quicker, and so you're not kind of like more of a sitting duck when you're shooting at each other. So the next attachment I'm going to use is the foregrip. These are actually massively helpful with advanced warfare, much more useful than they were in past Call of Duty games. I've made a video specifically on that, which I'll link in the description if you want to see the difference of all the recoil and bullet spreads and patterns and stuff like that. You can see how it actually makes a difference, and it's a really interesting video. I definitely recommend you check that out. And the third attachment I'm going to go with is going to be the quick draw grip. This allows me to aim down sight faster, which is massively helpful, so I can snap on target really quickly and start getting shots down range really accurately. And obviously that's going to require primary gunfighter, the wild card, so I can have 3 attachments on the ASM-1. I've not gone for any secondaries, I've just gone for the normal combat knife, and you can also run with that out, so when you spawn you can take out the combat knife and run around, so you can run at the maximum sprinting speed, and then when you're about to get into some enemies you can put out the submachine gun. So for perks, I've not only gone for a few. I'm going to use the lightweight perk in tier 1, and simply that's going to help you move faster. Obviously it's going to be very central for a rushing class. I've not gone for any perk 2. I don't really feel there's any in there that actually help with rushing abilities. In perk 3 I've gone for the toughness perk. As always, it's very essential. It's not as good as it was in previous Call of Duty games, but it still is helpful when you're up in enemy's face and getting a lot of gunfights one-on-one and they're taking shots into you, and you need to make sure that your aim isn't flying all over the place when you are kind of exchanging gunfights. So I've gone for 2 abilities which requires the tactician wildcard. The first one is Exo Overclock, which allows you to run faster. Very useful for a rushing class. It lets you move super fast, and equip that with lightweight and of course the submachine gun, you're going to be moving super fast. So Exo Overclock is definitely really cool. And in addition to that, also going to use Exo Stim, which gives you a slight boost of health, and again that'll come in handy when you're rushing around, get into a lot of gunfights, maybe for hopping on objectives or trying to cap flags. If you combine both Overclock and the Stim ability, you're going to be able to sponge a lot of damage and also move very quickly. So this is a very kind of aggressive and rushing class, and does help in the close quarters maps. As for score streaks, I've gone for the UAV, missile strike and bombing run. Score streaks are just down to personal preference. If you would prefer to use maybe just the UAV so you can know the enemy are, maybe upgrade that a little bit, or maybe no kill streaks at all if you just want to get in there and get objective play, or maybe you want to use some of the really high-end ones like the Warbird and Paladin. It's totally down to you which score streaks, but I would recommend these, and they do complement a rushing aggressive class very well, because they're all about explosives. They don't take you out of the battle for too long, such as the Paladin and Warbird, which you have to control. Unless you get them AI controlled, you have to sit in them for about a minute and control them yourselves. I would prefer to just let the bombing run go and shoot a quick missile strike and have the UAV going, so I can be constantly on the ground and killing people instead of having to worry about being inside a kill streak. So this has been my class setup for a rushing and aggressive class. Hopefully you have found it useful. Leave your suggestions to this class in the comment sections. Maybe you would choose one perk or attachment over another. Leave your suggestions in the comment section. What is your favorite rushing class? So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, like rating. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for a ton more advanced warfare content. If you enjoyed this one, you enjoy a bunch more videos that I've got coming up for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.